Have a nice day. Today we will see about Indian Constitution from Civics Unit 1. Okay, Indian Constitution. Here we will see about introduction, need for a constitution, making of Indian Constitution, salient features of Indian Constitution, preamble, citizenship, fundamental rights, directive principles of state policy, fundamental duties, center-state relations, official language, emergency provisions, amendment of the Constitution, Constitutional Reform Commission. Okay, here detailed about, we will see about the making of Indian Constitution, features of the Indian Constitution, fundamental rights and duties, to know the directive principles of state policy, to understand the center-state relations and the emergency provisions. Okay, first, what is Constitution? The Constitution is the fundamental law of a country which reflects the fundamental principles on which the government of that country is based. Okay. It is the vehicle of a nation's progress. The concept of Constitution was first originated in USA. Why need the Constitution? Why need for a Constitution? All democratic countries have a constitution that governs them. Constitution put down certain principles that form the basis of any kind of a state that we as citizens desire to live in. A constitution tells us the fundamental nature of our society. Okay, then how make this constitution? Making of Indian Constitution. The Constitution of India was framed by a Constituent Assembly set up under the Cabinet Mission Plan 1946. The Assembly consisted of 389 members from these provinces. Total members 389. Then here provinces from 292, from states 93. Then the chief commissioners provinces 3, then Balochistan also 1. Meeting. First meeting this assembly held on December 9th, 1946. Here the temporary president in this election. So Dr. Sachidananda Sinha, the oldest member, was elected as the temporary president of the assembly. Then he died. Then Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected as the president of the assembly. Similarly, the both H.C. Mukherjee and V.T. Krishna Machari were also elected as the vice president of the assembly. This assembly met for 11 sessions along with 166 days. Okay, during the discussion, what they will do? During the discussion, 2,473 amendments were presented. Some of them were accepted. The assembly worked through various committees and the draft of the constitution was prepared by the drafting committee under the chairmanship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So he is recognized as the father of the Constitution of India. Okay, here I said amendment. What is amendment? The term amendment denotes change, improvement and modification. Usually, this term is associated with one or more changes made in the constitution of a country. Okay, after the draft had been discussed by the people, the press, provincial assemblies and others, the constitution was finally adopted on November 26, 1949, contained a preamble, 22 parts, 395 articles and 8 schedules. The drafted constitution came into force on 26th January, so 1950. So this day is known as the Republic Day. It is being observed every year. Okay. Next one we will see about the salient features of Indian Constitution. Okay, this is the lengthiest of all the written constitution of the world. Our constitution is very lengthiest. It has borrowed from where? It has borrowed from most of its provisions from the constitution of various countries. It is partly rigid and partly flexible. Rigid means nothing but stiff. Partly stiff, partly flexible. It establishes a federal system of government. It makes India as a secular state. Secular is nothing but not connected any religious or spiritual. Okay. It provides an independent judiciary. Then it introduced universal added franchise. So what is that? If we will finish 18 years of age, this is 18 years of age is completed, after we will get the rights to vote. Okay, so accords the right to vote to all citizens above 18 years of age without any discrimination. Next one, our preamble. What is in it? The term preamble refers to the introduction or preface to the constitution. This is the introduction. It consists of the ideals, objectives and basic principles of the constitution. It has great value and has been described as the key to the constitution. This preamble to the Indian Constitution is based on the objective resolution drafted by Jawaharlal Nehru, which was adopted by the Constitution Assembly on January 22nd, 1947. It has been amended once by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1976, which added 3 new words. So what is that? Socialist, secular and integrity. The preamble begins with the phrase, "We, the people of India." Thus, we can say that the people of India are the sources of our constitution. The preamble of our constitution states that India is a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. Already you know about this because you learnt from 6th. Okay, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th also you learnt about these lessons. Okay, then next one is citizenship. Okay, this word citizen, this word is derived from the Latin term civics. It means a resident of a city state. The Constitution of India provides a single and uniform citizenship for the whole of India. Okay, this Article 5 to 11 under Part 2 of the Constitution deals with the citizenship. This one. Okay. Then Citizenship Act 1955. This act provides for acquisition and loss of citizenship after the commencement of the Constitution. Acquisition means we will get the citizenship. How we will get the citizenship? Okay, this one, loss of citizenship. How we will lose the citizenship? Okay, we will see below. This act has been amended so far 8 times. Okay, here also 8 times this act also amended. Then we will see about the acquisition of citizenship, loss of citizenship. First one, acquisition of citizenship by birth, descent, by registration, by naturalization, by incorporation of territory. Okay, what is by birth? All persons born in India on or after January 26th, 1950. Okay, all persons born in India on or after January 26, 1950 are treated as citizens by birth. Okay, then next one, descent. A person born outside India on or after January 26, 1950 shall be a citizen of India by descent. That is, if his father is a citizen of India at the time of his birth. Then registration. A person can acquire citizenship of India by registration with appropriate authority. Then by naturalization, a foreigners can acquire Indian citizenship on application for naturalization to the government of India. Then by incorporation of territory. In the event of a certain territory being added to the territory of India, the government of India shall specify the persons of that territory who shall be citizen of India. How laws of Indian citizenship. The Citizenship Act of 1955 prescribes 3 ways of losing citizenship, whether acquired under the act or prior to it under the constitution, as renunciation, termination and deprivation. Okay, first one, renunciation. It can be voluntarily renounced by a citizen. Okay, this one made by oneself. The next one, termination. It can be terminated if a person acquires the citizenship of some other country. Third one, deprivation. The central government can deprive a naturalized citizen if it is satisfied that the citizenship was acquired by fraud, false representation or concealment of material facts, or indulgence in trade with enemy countries, or if the person has been sentenced to imprisonment for a period of 2 years. Next one, you know about this, isn't it? The fundamental rights. Okay. Part 3, Article 12 to 35 is the fundamental rights. The fundamental rights are enriched in Part 3 of the Constitution from Articles 12 to 35. At present, there are only 6 fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are available to all persons. Certain fundamental rights are available only to Indian citizens. Okay, first we will see about right to equality. You can see here, if you have the book, you look at the book, Article 14 to 18. Our government, our constitution said about right to equality, where equality before law, prohibition of discrimination on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex or place of birth, equality of opportunity in matters of all public employment, then abolition of untouchability, abolition of titles except military and academic. Okay, right to freedom, that is come from Article 19 to 22, freedom of speech, expression, speech and expression, assembly, association, movement, like that. Okay, then Article 23 and 24 said about against exploitation. What is that? Prohibition of traffic in human beings and forced labor, then employment of children in factories, etc. You learn about that the article and what is said. Okay, that will come in the one word. Okay, then religion freedom. What is that? Article 25 to 28. Okay, we can free profession, practice and propagation of religion, manage religion affairs, isn't it like that? Then fifth one, cultural and educational rights, that gave in 29 and 30 article, protection of language, script and culture of minorities, like that. Then last one, sixth one, right to constitutional remedies. It 32 article, it allows individuals to seek redressal for the violation of their fundamental rights. Yeah. That is, if we will affect any about fundamental rights, we can go to the court. Okay, we will see about The right to constitutional remedies. Already I said what article this one? Article 32. Okay. Writ. What is a writ? Writ is an order or command issued by a court in writing under its seal. Okay. It is in the nature of a command or prohibition from performing certain acts that are specified in the order of the court. Both the Supreme Court and the High Courts are empowered to issue 5 kinds of writs. That is why the Supreme Court is called the guardian of the Constitution. According to Dr. Ambedkar, Article 32 is the heart and soul of the Constitution. What is that 5 kinds of the writs? First one is habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, certiorari, qua warranto. What is habeas corpus? Safeguards the people from illegal arrest. Then mandamus, protect the petitioner who requires legal help to get his work done by respective public authorities. Then prohibition. It prohibits a subordinate court from acting beyond its jurisdiction. Certiorari. It quashes an order issued by a subordinate court by overstepping its jurisdiction. Qua warranto. It prevents usurpation of public office through illegal manner. Next one, suspension of fundamental rights. When the president makes a proclamation of emergency under Article 352, the freedoms guaranteed under Article 19 are automatically suspended. The president can suspend other fundamental rights through specific orders. These orders must be approved by the Parliament. Next one, fundamental rights and what is directive principle of state policy. First we will see about the directive. What is directive principles of state policy? Okay. The directive principles of state policy are enumerated in part 4 of the Constitution from Articles 36 to 51. Okay. On the basis of their content and direction, they can be classified into 3 broad categories via socialistic, Gandhian and liberal intellectual. Here Dr. B.R. Ambedkar described these principles as novel features of the Indian Constitution. Okay, now we will see about the fundamental rights and directive principles of the state policy. Okay, this fundamental rights derived from the Constitution of the USA. Even the government cannot take away these rights. These are enforceable by a court of law. These have legal sanction also. These rights strengthen political democracy in the country. Here the directive principles of state policy. Here this is state policy only. Okay, here this one followed by the state, fundamental rights followed by all Indians. Okay. Here state policy, it was drawn on the model of the Constitution of Ireland. Here mere instruction to the government, they are not enforceable in any court. These have moral and political sanctions only. This implementation of these principles ensures social and economic democracy. Okay, we see about what is fundamental rights. If have rights, then we will give the fundamental duties, isn't it? We will do the duties. What is our duty? Already you know about this one also. Okay, the fundamental duties in the Indian Constitution are inspired by the Constitution of former USSR, United States of Soviet Russia. In 1976, the Congress Party set up the Sardar Swaran Singh Committee to make recommendations on fundamental duties. The 42nd Amendment Act of 1976 added some responsibilities of citizen to our constitution called the fundamental duties, isn't it? Some responsible of citizens to our constitutions. Okay, this amendment add a new part, namely part 4th A to the constitution. This new part consists of only one article, that is article 51A, which for the first time specified a code of 10 fundamental duties of the citizens. What is that? Okay, this one already I told, for article 51. Okay, first one, what? We by the constitution and respects its ideals and institution, that is the national flag, national anthem, to cherish and follow the noble ideals which inspired the national struggle for freedom. Then to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India, to defend the country and render national service when called upon to do so. If they will come to military, okay, if the government will call, we will need to go. That is our duty. To promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood among all the people of India, transcending religious, linguistic and regional or sectional diversities, to renounce practices derogatory to the dignity of women, to value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture, to protect and improve the natural environment, include forest, lake, river, wildlife, like that, have compassion for living creatures, to develop scientific temper, humanism and spirit of inquiry and reform, then to safeguard public property and to abjure violence, then to strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activity, so that the nation constantly rises to higher levels of endeavor and achievement, to provide opportunities for education also to his child and ward between the age of 6 and 14 years. This is the 86th Constitutional Amendment Act 2002 has also introduced the 11th fundamental duty under 51A(k), then under which all citizens of India or parents shall provide opportunities for education to their children between age of 6 and 14 years. Next one, we will see about the center-state relation, how they will do the work. Okay, first, what is that relation? In the legislative relation, administrative relation, financial relation. What is really legislative relation? The Union Parliament has the power to legislate for the whole or any part of the territory of India, which includes not only the state but also the union territories or any other area for the time being, including in the territory of India. The state legislature has exclusive right to legislate on the state list. Both parliament and state legislatures have power to legislate on subjects contained in the concurrent. Okay. Then administrative level. This power of a state extends only to its own territory and with respect to which it has legislative competence, whereas the union has exclusive executive power over. First, on the matters with respect to which parliament has exclusive power to make laws and the exercise of its powers conferred by any treaty or agreement. Next one, financial relation. What is that? This article from 268 to 293 in part 12. Okay, part 12 deal with the financial relation between center and the state. The center and the state are empowered by the constitution to impose various kinds of taxes. Here financial about money, detailed about the money. The certain taxes are imposed and collected by the center and divided between center and states based on the recommendation of the Finance Commission appointed by the President under Article 280 of the Constitution. Okay. Then we will see about our official language. This is Part 17, isn't it, of the constitution deals with the official language in article from 343 to 351, isn't it? Initially the constitution recognized 14 regional languages which were included in the 8th schedule. At present we have 22 languages are recognized. In 2004, the government of India decided to create a new category of languages, so that is called the classical languages. So for the 6 languages are the granted the classical languages status, namely Tamil 2004, then from 2005 Sanskrit, Telugu and Kannada 2008, Malayalam 2013, from 2014 Odia is a classical language. Next we will see about the emergency provisions. Here have national emergency, state emergency, financial emergency. National emergency, Article 352. The President under Article 352 can declare emergency if he is satisfied that India's security is threatened due to the war, external aggression or armed rebellion, or if there is an imminent danger or threat. When a national emergency is declared on the ground of war or external aggression, it is known as external emergency. National emergency is classified into 2, that is external emergency and internal emergency. External emergency is what? When a national emergency is declared on the ground of war or external aggression, that is called external emergency. What is internal emergency? On the other hand, when it is declared on the ground of armed rebellion, it is known as internal emergency. This type of emergency has been declared 3 times so far in 1962, 71, 75. Next one, state emergency, that is Article 356. The President can declare an emergency in a state if the governor reports that a situation has arisen under which the government of a state cannot be carried on in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution. The constitution of such an emergency beyond 1 year is possible only. 1 year is possible only if the emergency under Art 352 are in operation or the election commission certifies that there are difficulties in holding assembly elections. Maximum duration of the emergency can be 3 years. The state is governed by the governor on behalf of the president. For the first time, the president's rule was imposed in Punjab, the year 1951. Okay, last one, the financial emergency, Article 360. This is authorizes the president to declare financial emergency when if he is satisfied that the financial stability or credit of India or any of its parts is in danger. In this type of emergency, salaries and allowances of any class of persons serving state or union, including judges of the Supreme Court and High Court, can be reduced by an order of the President. This type of emergency has not been declared in India so far. It's good, isn't it? Then, amendment of the Constitution. Okay. The term amendment denotes a change, improvement and modification. Already I told, isn't it, what is amendment? So the amendment denotes change, improvement and modification. Sometimes the act, that article says changed, sometimes it will be improved, sometimes it will be modifications. Okay, Article 368 of the Constitution in Part 20 deals with the powers of Parliament to amend the Constitution and its procedure. Who will do this work? The Parliament. Okay. What is the procedure of the amendment? An amendment of this Constitution may be initiated only by the introduction of a bill for the purpose in either House of Parliament, upper house or lower house. Okay. and when the bill is passed in each house by a majority of the total membership of the membership of that house and by a majority of not less than 2/3 of the members of that house present and voting, it shall be presented to the president, who shall give us assent to the bill, and the constitution shall stand amended in constitution amended in accordance with the terms of the bill. The constitution amendment can be brought about only by the parliament. State legislature cannot initiate for any amendment to the constitution. What's the type of the amendments? Have three ways. Article 368 provide for three ways of amendment. What is that? First one, simply majority. The amendment by simply majority of the parliament. Second one, amendment by special majority of the parliament. Third one, amendment by special majority of the parliament and the ratification of half of the state legislature. Do you know 42nd amendment of the constitution is known as the mini constitution. Okay, this lesson end with constitutional reform commissions. Okay, the National Commission to review the working of the constitution was set up by a resolution of the Government of India in 2000, headed by M.N. Venkatachalaya. In April 2007, a three-member commission headed by the former Chief Justice of India, M.M. Panchi, was set up by the then government to take a fresh look at relative roles and responsibilities of various levels of government and their interrelations. Okay, this lesson also over. What we saw about from this lesson, the Constitution of India was framed by the Constitution Assembly set up under the Cabinet Mission Plan 1946. Then preamble of our Constitution states that India is a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. Then what is a citizen? The term derived from Latin word civis, meaning is resident of a city-state. According to Dr. Ambedkar, Article 32 is the heart and soul of the whole Constitution. Okay, I hope you all understand. I give the question, book back question also, you see. You give pass then and see the question answer. You will do choose only. Have choose 7. Then I think chooses 14, isn't it? Yeah, 14 choose, have, then 5 fill-ups, then 5 match. You do it. This is the today homework. Okay, you learn properly. Don't waste your time. Thank you, ma.